A soaking wet lion cub, shivering in a muddy flood, and two domestic dogs diving into the current like they were saving one of their own. In the middle of a heavy storm, the people of a small town in rural Wyoming witnessed the unthinkable. A golden retriever and a German shepherd were pulling something out of a rushing creek. Not a person, not a cat, but a lion cub, barely breathing. What happened after that rescue left the entire town in stunned silence. Stay until the end, because this story will make you see animals in a whole new light. Daniel Morrison was 63 years old, a retired firefighter living alone in a modest wooden cabin near the woods. He had no family left, but he wasn't truly alone. His loyal companions were Max, a 6-year-old golden retriever with a heart as golden as his fur; Rex, a 7-year-old German shepherd, sharp, dependable, and once trained for search and rescue missions. They lived a peaceful life together until one rainy afternoon changed everything. Heavy rain poured for hours. A flash flood spilled down from the mountain. Daniel was just about to bring the dogs inside when Max and Rex began barking wildly, then bolted straight through the fence toward the creek. He followed them, confused and concerned, only to stop cold when he saw it. In the middle of the swirling water, a small animal was struggling to stay afloat, mud-covered, eyes wide. It was a lion cub, no more than 3 months old. "Max! Rex! Get back here!" Daniel shouted. He wasn't sure if the cub was dangerous. Neighbors had started to gather, some shaking their heads. "It's a wild animal. Let it fend for itself," someone said. Daniel hesitated. Max and Rex were still inching toward the cub, inch by inch. Why would they risk their lives for that creature? Then Daniel noticed something strange. The lion cub wasn't resisting. It wasn't baring teeth. It wasn't growling. Instead, as Max drew close, it lifted its head and nuzzled the golden retriever's snout, like it knew him. Daniel froze. Wait, do they already know this cub? Without another second of doubt, Daniel jumped into action. He and the dogs carefully pulled the cub from the flood, laying it down on the dry bank. Rex gripped the loose fur at its scruff gently. Max stayed close, body tense but protective. Back at the house, Daniel cleaned and dried the cub, setting it up on warm towels. And oddly enough, the 3 animals slept side by side that night, with no signs of aggression. The town buzzed with whispers. "You're keeping a lion in your house, Daniel? Are you out of your mind? What if it grows up and turns on your dogs?" Daniel just smiled gently and replied, "They're already friends. I think I'm the one who's late to the story." A week later, wildlife rangers visited the property. One of them, a young woman, recognized the cub. It had been rescued as an orphan a year ago, then re-released into the nearby forest. And during that time, the cub had wandered near Daniel's property, where Max and Rex had played with it through the fence. They weren't strangers. They were old friends reunited. The wildlife team made an unusual decision. They let the cub stay under supervision, with monthly checkup. Daniel's cabin became home to 2 dogs and 1 lion. They ate together, played together, slept within sight of each other. Soon, the townspeople who once frowned now stopped by just to watch. And more than once, they left smiling. On the day the lion turned 3 years old, he sat on a hill behind the cabin at sunset. Max and Rex sat beside him. 3 silhouettes, different species, one family watching the orange sky fade into twilight. No words spoken, but no words needed. Because some friendships are built not on appearances, but on loyalty, kindness, and quiet understanding. That's the end of the story. Thank you for listening to this tale from SoulPaw Stories V. But if you think this is the most touching animal story you've ever heard, you haven't seen the dog who jumped into a flooded river to save a baby elephant in the middle of a thunderstorm. Don't miss the next story, it's one the whole world cried for.